today, a surface paradise jewel largely vacant despite housing crisis. Hi again, it's Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics World Notice Post covering finance and property news. Well, you know, if you've been following the channel, that I've been on about vacant property for some time. The ABS reported last time around that about 1.2 million vacant properties were available across Australia. And while some of those are there for a very good reason, for example, people switching between properties or maybe holiday homes or those sorts of things, the thesis that I've been running with for quite some time is that there are a large number of properties that are deliberately being held vacant. And so I read with interest the article from the ABC recently that highlighted a particular case study on Surface Paradise. They wrote that 3 years after construction finished on the most expensive high-rise development in Queensland history, hundreds of its luxury beachfront apartments remain empty and most of them are not for sale. The $1.5 billion dual development in Surface Paradise has 3 towers, with international hotel group, the Langham, independently managing the middle tower as holiday accommodation. But the north and south towers contain 232 and 108 residential apartments respectively. But 3 years since the apartments were built, more than 2/3 have not been put to the market. The South Tower is empty, its units do not have titles and had never been listed for sale. Chinese-backed developer AW Holding Group last week released 30 1-, 2- and 3-bedroom apartments ranging from $900,000 to $6.5 million in the North Tower, where 88 units were previously sold. Amid enormous interstate international interest that has been fueling a Gold Coast property boom, the majority of new apartments in the region are typically purchased off the plan and often sell out months or even years before construction starts, but that has not been the case for Dual. AW Holding Group could not be reached for comment, but Total Property Group Director Adrian Pearsons, who manages Dual's sales campaign, said its foreign owners had a strategic view of the property's value and were in no hurry to sell. The owner's position is that they want to maximise the value of their asset, he said. We do know also that there are a lot of developments that are not going ahead in the market, so there is no desire to rush. Now, this strategy has confounded some property experts. For example, David Higgins, Collier's International Director of Residential Property for the Gold Coast and Brisbane, said it was unheard of for a development of dual size to be financed without pre-sales. Mr. Higgins said overheads, including interest repayments, council rates and maintenance, will be astronomical, in addition to potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars a week in lost rental income. Cleaning and security is also very expensive, so it would be an incredibly high cost to maintain an A-grade building on the beachfront in today's environment, he said. If they're not selling or not selling quickly enough, generally we would come back to price. If the project was well priced and the developers were serious, there is very good demand. Despite the suggestion the Dual was overpriced, sales have been strong. The first 70 apartments released in stages 1 and 2 since last December sold for a combined $140 million, primarily to Queensland buyers. Mr. Parsons said his team was undertaking 100 inspections each week. He expects the 30 apartments in stage 3 will sell out in 2 months, and some units in the South Tower will go on sale in December or January. The release matches market demand, Mr. Pearson said. We're very conscious that we make enough properties available for people who are looking to buy. We definitely have a housing crisis on the Gold Coast where there is not enough affordable accommodation offered, but I clearly think you would not put this in the affordable category. The project's staggered release has raised questions about the ethics of deliberately withholding properties from the market, given the state's housing crisis. Queensland Housing Minister Megan Scanlon disagreed that high-end real estate had no impact on overall housing availability. Our data suggests that supply is the critical issue, she said. Of course, we want to see increased supply of social and affordable housing, but we also want to see increased supply of any types of housing because it adds more options to the market for people who are able to purchase or to rent. The Minister urged developers to do the right thing. My message to any developer is, if you have housing, we would encourage you to make sure that it's added to the supply that we need right now. Mr. Higgins said that the sale of more dual apartments would have a flow-on effect as downsiders moved into the complex and vacated their family homes. We as an industry are so starved of supply, he said, that does free up other housing stock, and we believe there is a very positive story in the run-on effect. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, it is premium, but it does free up other real estate. So here's the dilemma. To what extent do you just let the market be the market? Or to what extent do you intervene when property is deliberately held vacant, seeking, of course, a capital appreciation and potential very high sale prices? Of course, if you restrict supply, prices go up. But this is a trend we see quite often, not only with property, but also in land releases too, where small parcels are released. If more land was released, the value of land would go down. So there is a fundamental question here about the dynamics of property in Australia. And this, I think, does call out that we need to think very hard about how we get vacant property available and accessible to the market. Because, yes, supply is certainly a big issue at the moment. And frankly, this strategy, as articulated by the ABC, to me at least, stinks to high heaven. Now, if you're buying your home in Sydney's contentious market, you don't need to stand alone. This is the time you need to have Edwin Almeida from Ribbon Property Consultants standing alongside you. Buying a property is both challenging and adversarial. The vendor has a professional on their side. Emotions run high, price discovery and price transparency are hard to find, and then there's the wasted time and financial investments that you make. Edwin understands your needs, so why not engage a licensed professional to stand alongside you? With RPC, you know you have experience, knowledge, and master negotiators looking after your best interests. So shoot Ribbon an email at info@ribbonproperty.com.au, and if you use the promo code DFAWTW/Martin, you can get a 10% discount offer. I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.